Morning, Budget Guitarist here. I've not done a video in quite a long time because of work commitments and real life, that sort of stuff. It's annoying at times when, real life just gets in the way of doing, guitar stuff and, it's annoying to me anyway. I wish I could get paid the same amount of money and just sit and play guitar and stuff. That would be mega. That's the dream, I guess. Anyway, got a new amp. It's a Super Champ ×2. I don't know if it's the X2 or it's Super Champ ×2. I want to say it's ×2 because it's referring to the two power tubes that are in the amp. So it's got two 6v6 power tubes in the power amp section, and it's got a what's it called again? It's got a 12 AX7 preamp tube in the preamp section. So it is a 15 watt tube amp with a little 10 inch speaker, but it is properly loud. And if you're unfamiliar with the Champion series of amps, I used to have a Fender Champion. It was the big 100 watt two speakers. We had all the different voices, but it was solid state, still mega loud, but to my ears anyway, having grabbed this one, it's only 15 watts, it seems to be louder, way louder, even though the solid state one was 100 watts in terms of output. This is only 15 watts and it's very punchy, very capable. It's got an absolutely beautiful clean channel, which is, it's only controlled by output volume, treble bass, and you can add a bit of effects if you want to. I traded this for another amp off a gentleman from the marketplace. Obviously, I do not have the money to go out and buy, a brand spanking new tube amp, but it came in its original box. It's pretty much brand new. I've got the manual, the power leads, and all the stuff that you need. Just completely blown away, to be fair, because you'd assume that you'd need 50 watts, maybe more, of tube power to be loud, but this is just being loud in terms of output at 15 watts. At the moment I've got it set around, it's sort of in between 3 and 4 because I'm like right next to it, and it's still quite loud. It's an ideal, I'd say it's an ideal practice amp. It might be capable, it's more than capable of sort of like pubs, clubs, open mic, that sort of thing. But in terms of in a full-on band situation, not quite sure. But if this is anything to go by sort of at 3, I don't know, fuck it. I'm gonna crank it. I'm gonna put it all the way to 10 and see. Yeah, it's properly loud. Properly loud. That sort of like rattling you could hear, it wasn't the amp, it was all the stuff on my shelves vibrating because of how loud it is. So because it's part of the Champion series, we've got this section now, so we push the button, it puts us onto sort of like channel 2. This is where we've got 16 different voicings that are based off some classic Fender amps, and then onto some British. We've got some sort of like Marshall tones, and yeah, they're all pretty decent. They're all actually convincing because the Champion 100 watt was solid state, which had the same, lots of different amp voicings. The difference with this now, so each of these 16 amp voicings are now powered by its preamp tube and its two power tubes, which makes for a very convincing. So for example, so let's have a see. So it'll do Tweed Champ, Tweed Deluxe, Dirty or Compressed. Then we've got a 65 Princeton Clean, a a 65 Princeton Dirty, 65 Deluxe, 65 Twin Amp, 60s British Clean, 60s British Dirty, 70s British, 80s British, 13 Supersonic. It's another great classic Fender amp. One of my friends that I follow on the social media uses a Supersonic amp, and it just sounds absolutely divine. And then on to 90s metal, 2000 metal, and then number 16 is the Jazzmaster, which is a flat, solid state sounding clean tones if you want to, do some jazz, but no one's got time for jazz. But I'm going to keep it on the clean. This is why I bought the amp in the first place. I wanted something small, I wanted something very punchy, at the same time I wanted it clean. Because it's a Fender tube amp, it takes pedals very, very well on the clean channel. Doesn't really like taking pedals when you switch over to channel 2 and use the voicings, because like the list mentioned there, you've got, for example, like the Tweed clean, and then the next one along is the Tweed driven. Yeah, but on the clean it definitely takes the pedals really well. So this is it, super clean. Volume is around number 4. Just sounds lovely. Sounds absolutely lovely. Does it sound better than the PV? I wouldn't necessarily say it's any better or worse, but it just sounds different. Because the PV had a beautiful clean channel. It's no better nor worse, it just sounds different. But it does take the pedals very, very well. So activate my blues driver, which is just going straight into the front of the amp. I'll do the same thing again. Beautiful. You sort of get away with that. We're sort of moving into that sort of like Hendrix driven, not quite Hendrix, but definitely we're sort of like getting into that Stevie Ray, the Stevie Ray thing now. Yeah, and as you can see, I've got a little bit of reverb, so you can use the effects with the clean. You can use the effects with the voice, and all I've got happening at the minute is some sort of reverb. I'm being mega picky. I would have liked a spring reverb tank, inside the amp, so the effects are digital and the reverb is digital. I believe it's got like hall room plate. There's no actual spring reverb, I don't think. Just let me double check. So reverb. Oh, number 3. No, number 3. Okay, classic Fender spring reverb. Let's have a see how that sounds. Not reverb. Reverb. 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. I didn't realise it had a. Sounds springy, but it sounds a little bit springy, but it's not a convincing spring reverb. You cannot beat an actual spring reverb tank in an amp. I think on that aspect it's falling down a little bit, but it's not a it's just me being really picky. It sounds convincing, but just not quite the real in your face, because you can get a lot of solid state Fender amps that have a spring reverb tank, so it's very easily done. Just put a springy reverb tank in there. But so that was the blues driver. We'll have a listen to how it sounds with the overdrive now. I've definitely played that better in the past. I've had a long time off playing, to be fair, you know, work's been busy and all the rest of it. I just wish I had more time to practice. I guess we all do, really. Yeah, I got this yesterday. I've not properly messed about with it. You know, maybe I'll do another video and show you what's what. But on the, you know, initial thoughts, loud, super clean. Makes a good pedal platform, especially just driving it straight into front of the amp. There is no effects loop, which yeah, you don't normally get effects loops on amps that have got a little like modelling going on and all the rest of it. Yeah, really like it. Oh, one more thing. So it's got the, I've not tried this bit yet, but there's some Fender software you can get off the internet. Plug it into USB, into the amp. So then you've got the amp communicating with the computer or whatever, and you can create patches. So for example, you can select whichever voice and add stuff to that voice, save it as a preset. I can't find my USB cable. Maybe I'll get around to that or whatever, but I'll try to do some more. Yeah, the Fender Champ, the Super Champ times 2. Thank you very much for sticking around. Not one of my best videos, certainly not my best playing, but yeah, thank you very much for watching.